Uncle Ron's Stuff. This episode is about inside another hoverboard. This is part 2 because I went into a different brand hoverboard and I wanted to highlight out the differences, and I went a little farther on disassembly this time. So anyway, first thing I found was that the batteries are not identical. I don't know why I expected they might be, but they are not. And this one is only 25.5 volts. The other one was 36, I think. And this one only is 2.6 amp hours, which is nothing. You can see the size of this. Fits in my hand. This hoverboard wouldn't go very long without have to be charged again. It's kind of disappointing. They put all of the metal and all the circuitry in there, and then they put this little ass battery in the damn thing. And this one is interesting in that the first battery pack only had one power connector coming out of it. This one actually has two. The shorter one goes to the motor on where it's mounted close to, and the other one goes all the way through the metal work and connects to the motor on the other side. The other battery only had one connector, and but this one has two. And yes, you can find this battery identical to this at 25.2 volt DC, 2.6 amp hours, and once again, big surprise, it's $65. So once again, I have a problem with economically being able to repair it because of the charger being 20 bucks or so, and this being 65. It's just not worth it. Okay, so one of the things several things I wanted to show you that I thought was interesting is this time I wanted to see the motor. This is the one I took apart, and it is a GoTrax, G-O-T-R-A-X. That's the model name for this particular one. And it looks very similar to any hoverboard. As you can see, stop. And I'm dissolving again. Let's see. I hate this. Why does it roll around with me? Anyway, okay. This particular guy is very similar to the other one. Certainly in construction, it's got a big heavy metal base on it. The battery, only one battery, went into the right side just like the other one. But in this case, I wanted to see about these motors, and I had read about them. Let's see if I can come up closer and it'll solve this problem. Okay, so what it has on hoverboards is what's known as a 3-phase DC motor. And I was interested in that because I'm not real familiar with it. And what I did and had to do was, first thing was to cut the tire off of it, and I'll show you how it went together. Okay, this is the actual motor sticking out here on this side, and it's fixed. It doesn't rotate. It's a 3-phase motor, so that the controller, and there's a motor controller, energizes. There are 3 sets of windings that are around this thing. And they energize one set of winding, and that pulls around what is the wheel. And here is the wheel that went over top of it. You can see inside. Stop. There's segments of metal in there, which, as I'll show you, are magnetic. Okay. So this is the part that actually turns. Now, the only way I could effectively get it off was I had to cut the tire off. And this is what the rubber tire looks like. This sort of cross section. It's not perfectly solid, but it almost could be. And it fitted around the outer hub like this. Okay. the hub itself, or wheel if you will, is right here. It was basically just pressed on to a bearing here on the end of the motor. Here is a bearing. This part does not move. This part moves. This is the bearing, and this particular guy would sit down like, and you see how magnetically it clicked. Now this part will rotate, and I probably have to pay hell to get it back off again because it's magnetic. I can't. Anyway, you see how the motor works. That's what I'm trying to show you. I think I used, because it's magnetic, it's like really hard to get it out of there. It's not anything holding it but the power of those magnets to the now I can't get it back out. Anyway, one more time and then I'll give up. And nope. Okay, this is that motor with the wheel set in there. This is the rubber tire that went on top. So you see how the motor works. That set of coils in there, they do not move. This outer ring is what moves, and I can't get it back off again because it's magnetically drawn to that, and it's pretty powerful, drawn to that coil in there. Okay, that's how the motor works, and there's a ton of sensors. In fact, you can't see it, but on the very end here, there's a little circuit board with like 4 sensors on it, right there, mounted on that hub. And you know, overall, it's a well-made piece of equipment. The circuit boards on this one are fully enclosed. Really is no circuitry is not exposed to the environment. It's been sealed up pretty well good. They use connectors for everything. Very little of it is hard soldered in place. They got connectors, and as I said, as I showed you, I think on the battery pack, one connector goes right here for this wheel's battery motor, and then one went all the way through, in through here, across here, and over into there for the other motor. Okay, so what I'm trying to show on this particular one is one that the battery packs are not standard, and you would have to get a battery pack just like you have. And in this particular case, the manufacturer's name, the voltages, now it does not say charging voltage on this one, but I think when I looked this up and could buy it, it was like 27 or 24 charging volts. So you would have to have a charger rated for that voltage to charge up this hoverboard. What else to tell you about it? Now I have the lithium battery out of it, I can take it, I'm sure I can take it to the transfer station. Sorry, the green screen is funky today. I can't quite seem to get it to be as right as it should. I dissolve if I get it too high. Let's go up here. Not quite. Anyway, that's the point I'm trying to make. Is I showed you the motor underneath of this big boy. Obviously, you can't replace the motor. I mean, I have no idea what they cost, but probably more than a battery if you could even find it. And sorry about the green screen, but just won't behave today. I don't know why it's rocking and rolling so much there. Maybe I can at least end up this way. Nope. Some of that. Nope. And more of that. I think I should just leave it at that. And experiment. Nope. Up. I gotta get something out of this recording. Maybe if nothing else, the green screen adjustment again. There you go. again, not economically viable to repair it. The battery and the charger just cost too much. And as I said, I'm overall impressed with the construction. I'm sure the design work had to have been pretty good. This one is fully enclosed. Thinking about it now, it somewhat bothers me a little bit because I know there's heat sinks in there, and because it's using three-phase DC, it's going to have to be switching those coils on and off, and there is some logic in there, and probably circuits are doing that and they're getting hot and they have to be cooled. This one has this covered up, so it's not going to manage to be cooled by the air like the other one was. But anyway, that's all I got. I would suggest to you, if you plan on throwing these away, you at least have to take the lithium battery out of them before you take it, and maybe even show them that the battery's out of it, because they're not going to want to take it with that lithium battery in there. That's all for today. This is Uncle Ron's stuff. This is inside a hoverboard part 2, a different hoverboard, and I went a little farther and showed you how the motor works. Today is the 29th of July already. Bye-bye.